Minister, cowardice, conservatism, misogyny and a patronising attitude towards women has characterised the treatment of women in this country for virtually the entire history of the state. And those attitudes led to the obscenities of the mother and baby homes, to the Magdalen laundries, the Bethany homes, and to tens and tens of thousands of women having to flee abroad under a shadow of stigma and shame for abortions in another country. And all of that history of conservatism, of misogyny, of patronising attitude towards women were rejected and rejected overwhelmingly in the Repeal the 8th referendum. The exit poll made clear that the people of this country, in their overwhelming majority, trusted women and believed that they should have the right to make choices about their own lives and their own bodies. Despite generations of politicians and priests trying to prevent women having those rights, and the delay of the political establishment in this country, who were eventually forced to allow for that referendum. And I put it to you that in putting forward this amendment, you are guilty of the same conservatism, patronising attitude towards women that has characterised the treatment of women hitherto. The fact that mothers, parents who have wanted pregnancies but receive the devastating diagnosis that their wanted child is going to have a fatal fetal abnormality and will not live, and that they are still having to go to Britain for abortions rather than have those services provided here is shameful. Absolutely shameful. And that is the case because of a ridiculous legislative provision around this issue, which Mario Shea's review has rightly insisted has to be changed. And I know, Minister, because I had a daughter with fatal fetal abnormalities who was destined to die, tragically, a wanted child, and the doctors, she was born, because we didn't know in advance that she had such fatal fetal abnormalities, but the doctors had no idea, and we had no idea, and they couldn't possibly have said how long she would live. She would be 21 this year, and I wish she was here. But we would have had no idea, and the doctor could not possibly say how long she would have lived. So it is absolutely ridiculous to have this arbitrary 28 days. Absolutely ridiculous, and that people in that tragic situation who make the decision that they cannot go through with a pregnancy where a wanted child they know will not survive is being forced to go to Britain for an abortion. And that's what Mario Shea's review is telling us. It is also telling us that doctors, fearful of 14 years in prison if they make a wrong judgment about whether a woman's life or health is at risk, that they don't feel confident that they can provide her with an abortion, and that such women then have to go to Britain to seek an abortion. Because, in truth, the government doesn't trust women, or legislated to the effect of not trusting women, or doctors, for that matter. Now, these are things that cannot wait. The idea that we can wait another year, and in reality until after another general election, when that sort of thing continues to happen, or indeed the lack of equal access for women. Because if we say that women should have the right to abortion services, but in reality many of them actually don't have that access, and a 3-day wait, partly there to try and shame women, but also obstructing their equal access to a service to which they should be entitled, it's just wrong. And that's what Mario Shea's review has said, and there is no justification for you to delay this as you clearly are doing. So I ask you, Minister, withdraw your amendment, allow this legislation to progress, and the Health Committee will be discussing that legislation in any event at a committee.
On Tara.